This is the game when I stopped playing chess because after this game I started cooking chess, like literally. So basically आज मैं अपनी ही गेम एक एनालाइज करने लगा हूँ एंड दिस इज अ प्रीटी गुड गेम यार लाइक इसमें ना मैंने पहली दफ़ा एक सेक्रीफाइस किया था बहुत ब्रिलियंट किस्म का ठीक है एंड यहाँ पर मेरी ईलो अराउंड 790 थी ठीक है एंड like I sacrificed a really good piece and got into a really good position after that. So let's enjoy this game together. So I'm the one with the black pieces, and my opponent plays the London opening. यार मुझे वैसे लंदन ओपनिंग पसंद नहीं है पसंद नहीं मतलब लाइक आई डोंट प्ले इट ऑफन लाइक मैंने बस एक दो दफ़ा ट्राई की है एंड it kind of gives you a good position but I don't like it much but शायद हो सकता है मैं आगे मतलब लंदन पे ज़्यादा फोकस करना स्टार्ट कर दूँ because I'm short of opening so uh, okay so let's not get distracted about this type shit so my opponent plays London opening then in response my favorite I played g6 let's go the king's Indian defense is coming बेसिकली से हो क्या रहा है कि जो मेरे लिए तो ब्लॉक्स हैं ना ये फुली डिपेंडेंट हो गए हैं ठीक है एंड इसके बाद जो बुक मूव आता है हमारा वो ये होता है कि हम बिशप को g7 पे ले जाएं एंड ये जो डायगनल है ठीक है इस पे लाइक हमारा बिशप एक्टिव बिहेव करेगा सो लेट्स कंटिन्यू दिस ऑब्वियसली जो आपका ओपोनेंट है वो ट्राई करेगा कि वो सेंटर को कवर करे ठीक है तो ही प्लेज e4 एंड ही कवर्स द सेंटर अ बिट बट we are playing King's Indian defense, ठीक है? तो we don't bother the center much. So I just play the Queen's pawn and basically इसका idea ये था like कि G6 के बाद अक्सर जो आप देखते हो या फिर खेलते भी हो आप क्या करते हो you will play bishop to G7 ठीक है and then you will take out the knight and then castle and then your king is safe now you can develop your other pieces and you can attack the opponent but the मैंने इससे भी बहुत गेम्स खेली हैं बिशप टू G7 से बट मेरी अब अप्रोच क्या होती है कि यार देखो उसके दो पॉन्स हैं ठीक है एंड ही कैन लाइक वो कभी भी मतलब ना अपना पॉन पुश कर सकता है एंड let's say I'm developing my pieces and I'm putting my knight over here uh, let's say over here and he pushes his pawn so I have to move my knight and creates problems for me so मैंने ये pawn इसलिए push किया था ताकि जो ये दोनों boxes हैं ना ये guard हो जाएं ठीक है and if the opponent pushes pawn then I might have choices कि मैंने क्या करना है उसके बाद ठीक है तो like एक अच्छी पोजीशन में आने के लिए and also दिस इज़ अ वेरी गुड मूव बिकॉज़ जो आपका लाइट स्पीड बिशप है वो डेवलप कर सकते हो आप ठीक है लाइक यू कैन मूव इट टू एनीवेयर एंड जो आपका नाइट है वो भी यहाँ पर आप प्लेस कर सकते हो सो there's a variety of moves after this move that's why I chose this then he develops his knight and उसके बाद मैंने क्या किया मैंने नाइट डेवलप किया अपना नाउ ही पुशेस हिज पॉन जैसे मैंने पहले बात की थी अब मेरे पास चॉइस है कि मैं टेक करूँ या फिर अपना नाइट को मूव करूँ सो इन दिस पोजीशन मैंने अपना नाइट को मूव किया बिकॉज यू आर अटैकिंग सम बॉक्सेस लाइक दिस एंड दिस एंड यू हैव मतलब एक सेंटर में आपका नाइट है तो इट कंट्रोल्स मेनी बॉक्सेस and then he develops his bishop to d2 and in response I also develop my bishop to g7 and there there I thought yeah I should make this game simple because at that time I was not in the mood कि यार बहुत complex game हो like centers lock हो जाए ये हो जाए वो हो जाए बस I wanted कि यार बस speeding हो and like घर जाए बस हम तो I traded my knight he took it with this bishop and then uh, I developed my other knight because obviously knights are really important in the game and I don't want to be on the back foot so I developed my knight and he developed his light sway bishop on c4 यार वैसे ना क्या कहते हैं, जो लाइट स्क्वायर बिशप जब अटैक करता है ना इस तरह, तो इट्स लाइक it gets me scared because you can you don't feel safe to develop to castle your king now because uh, the bishop is attacking the pawn. The pawn is kind of weak, and let's say later in the game, the queen moves to f3. So it's a it's a headache, so many headache for you to consider castling because this pawn is also gonna push, yeah, and it's gonna you know create more pressure on this pawn and the rook and the everything. So what I did was, I wanted to trade my bishops because I don't want to end in that mess up situation. So I offered him trading the bishops, and luckily, not luckily, I would say, like I was not expecting that he would trade his bishop, but he did, and it kind of doubled my pawns. But खैर है यार विवर चलता है. It's like I'm I'm under 800 elo क्या ही हो जाएगा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा. I'm not like 1500 2000 जो हर एक move पे दे रहा है ध्यान. So it's like cool and chill to relax sometimes and double your pawns. And then he castled, and then my I pushed. I didn't castle because I didn't feel safe here. I instead preferred pushing this pawn and lock the center. Like now I wanted कि यार चलो let's see, let's make this a long game. ठीक है? If you want a long game, I will give you a long game. Let's go for it. And if we're playing a 30-minute game, तो patience होना चाहिए आपके अंदर. Okay, so I pushed my pawn, and the reason for this was actually there was no reason. So the reason I pushed this pawn was I didn't want him to take this pawn because if he takes this pawn, I can develop my queen, but I don't want to develop my queen this way. You know, like the rook gonna come later and it's gonna create troubles for me, my king, and the all things. So I pushed my pawn simply, and his knight came here. Yeah, to be honest, जब knight आपका यहाँ पर आता है ना तो it kind of looks scared जब वो king के पास आता है. Like it can attack in any way with any combo. If you're a beginner, so you get confused. Always get confused. And I was a bit confused too. Then I calculated that this square is protected, this is protected, but this is not protected, and he can uh, come here and attack on my queen, and later he can, you know, give me a bigger threat than that. So what I did was I moved my queen to d7 and my pawn got protected. Simple as that. उसके बाद he moved his rook to e1. So क्योंकि कभी ना कभी तो ये center open होना ही है ना तो ठीक है. Then I castled the biggest blunder in this game. The castling. वो तो अच्छा था. My opponent was like he wasn't that pro कि वो notice कर सके इस sport को. ठीक है. And like bro, it's too deadly. Like the center is locked and you are a rook down. That is such. मतलब आप एक back foot पे आ जाते हो यार इसके बाद. Luckily he played this move, pawn to b4, which which does nothing but actually it traps my knight. Like my knight can't go here, um, can't capture this pawn, and can go. It can only go here. Okay, it can only go here, which is like not a good move for my knight. Like why would I consider going there? So that was a good move, but then I quickly I remembered and I removed the forking threat. Okay, so उसके बाद then he pushed the pawn again to create threat on this side of the board, like these pawns and this knight, and so this can open and my king can become unsafe. So I retreated my knight. ठीक है, knight को वापस तो लेके जाना था ना because I was seeing this square was empty. There was no point of moving my knight here because इस तरह तो वो dead हो जाता बिल्कुल ही. उसके बाद फिर he pushed his a pawn also. Like he's building, he's he's building and he's pushing his pawns, connecting his pawns. वो मतलब अगर तुम देखो अब इस गेम को तो you will definitely see that white is dominating because he's more in the center than me. I'm doing nothing. Like I am not even attacking any useful piece here. Then I wanted to trade my other knight because the knights are the most powerful pieces, I believe, after the queen. Okay. It depends on the situation. अक्सर सिचुएशन में तो पॉन भी आपका बहुत डेंजरस हो जाता है बट नाइट्स जो होते हैं ना आपके लाइक they always get you confused so I don't want to get rid of them but in this situation मैं ये चाहता था कि ट्रेड कर दूंगा नाइट ना so and he was waiting for me to trade the night so he pushed his pawn and also उसने back rank का जो chances होते हैं अक्सर कि बैक एंड चेकमेट हो जाएगा उसने वो भी प्रिवेंट किया by doing this ठीक है and I also wasn't sure if should I take this knight or not so I also pushed my pawn and then he took my knight so I took it with the rook and then he pushed his g pawn also like he's connecting these pawns pushing these pawns and I'm doing literally nothing he's attacking all the pieces and like he's creating a threat इस पोजीशन में आके मुझे जो सबसे बेहतर मूव लगा वो ये था because if he takes then I can take back and I will get an open file for my rook okay and I can create threats for the king so it's like okay, if he takes then वो only I can benefit from that and वो एक बैक फुट पे आ जाता ना उसको कोई फायदा नहीं होता उस चीज़ का so he avoided taking that pawn instead he attacked my rook and see my pawns are connected and defended by the bishop. So there's no way the queen can take this. The only thing I was concerned about is rook, but not a big problem. Other rook is there for the protection. And now he moved his rook to e2. I don't know why he played that move just because uh, he wanted a variety in his rooks. Like both of the rooks are on the back rank, and he wanted some, activity on the second rank like अगर कोई threat आता second rank पे तो the rook is there for that. I think the idea was that, but I didn't get that कि क्या हो सकता है. Oh, I see it now. Like he was preventing uh, this. Like I remembered that in the game, but now when I'm analyzing it, I forgot that I was also threatening this. कि यहाँ पर इस because this was a weak pawn and कि यहाँ पर मैं इसको take करूँ and I can create problems for the king. But that wasn't I was gonna do actually because इस तरह फिर बहुत गंदी सिचुएशन में आप फंस सकते हो अक्सर अगर आप इस तरह करो तो because there's no attack on the king. So he did this to prevent it and I pushed my pawn because I didn't want it कि यार मतलब मैं यहाँ पर कोई मूव करूँ ठीक है एंड ये कोई भी पीसेस मेरे मतलब लाइक यहाँ पर है because I wanted कि यार the opponent should make a move here and I would decide on that basis कि मतलब मैंने किस तरह move करना है ठीक है so I chose कि why shouldn't I protect my king more and attack on the other कहते हैं opponent so let's clear the side of the board and he takes me this pawn now I thought for a second so what I played was a really good move according to me rook to f5 the pawn cannot move because the queen is on the left side and the rook can take the pawn without any hesitation, literally. And the next move he did was really aimless because he did this. I don't think that इसकी जरूरत थी भाई because क्या कहते हैं I'm gonna take that pawn anyway. Attacked his queen and he all obviously retreated his queen. Then I push the pawn because this pawn is now pinned. Cannot move until the king move. So this pawn can push forward, attack this pawn. This rook is active now. This rook is active now, and my position is certainly better now. उसके बाद he takes this pawn and attack it with the queen because यार देखो my queen was also trapped ठीक है in the situation के मतलब queen had no way to go तो मैंने अपनी पॉन पुश मुझे पॉन पुश करना ही पड़ना था इसके लिए ताकि ये जो स्पेस है सिर्फ पॉन्स कनेक्ट हो रहे हैं ये काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम दे रही थी मुझे इसलिए मैंने पॉन पुश किया था अपना so he took it then I took back his pawn then the other blunder he did was moving his queen to b5 like why would you hang your bishop it was a free bishop and I'm also attacking a rook and obviously वो उसने अपना rook defending like he moved it to safety. The only move that I could come up with was pawn to b6 because he's attacking this pawn. यार देखो अक्सर इस तरह होता है कि अ, आप अगले के पीस को अटैक कर रहे होते हो एंड अनइंटेंशनली आप खुद अटैकिंग पोजीशन में आ जाते हो लाइक यू आर बीइंग अटैक्ड एंड जो जब मैं लाइक जब मेरी ईलो रेटिंग वगैरह जो भी जब कम थी तो इस तरह की सिचुएशंस आप लोग मतलब में आते हो जब तो आप लोग नहीं आइडेंटिफाई कर पाते कि अच्छा यार आई एम अंडर अ थ्रेट बट आई वाज रियली लॉक्ड इन दैट गेम सो the only good move I could come up with was this pawn move. This wasn't the best move, but this wasn't a bad move either. So okay, so I couldn't understand this move and I can't explain it too. But I want to know that why did he move this rook to b4? Like अब मैं easily आपको check दे सकता हूँ, ठीक है? And yeah, I can create multiple problems for you, यार. What are you doing? What the hell did you did? मतलब ये क्या किया है उसने? मतलब रुक मूव कर लिया अपना उस फाइल से, उस रो से. What the hell यार? This was such a bad move. I gave him a check, ठीक है? And उसके बाद he moved here, and then I pushed my pawn, creating more pressure on this pawn. Like it was going to be, it is going to be nightmare for him, no doubt, no doubt. अच्छा, so he gave me a check, and I prefer to move here instead of moving here. Okay, then he took the pawn, ठीक है? Now at this position, look the board carefully. अब मैंने क्या किया? See this. This pawn is putting pressure on this pawn. This rook is putting pressure on this pawn. The pawn is pinned. This queen is controlling this whole file. My bad, this whole row. Or whatever you call that. So the thing is कि मुझे कोई ऐसा मूव मिल जाए यार कि like जो मेरा ये वाला रुक भी है ना, this also gets active. Like my like I wanted this square to be active. Now what I did was I really thought, look at the timing. I almost thought for around 2 minutes and I came up with this. This is a brilliant move. And the idea was to sacrifice my rook. Okay? To sacrifice my rook. The pawn will take the rook. I don't care much about this pawn, but yeah, you can take this anytime, but I won't give that time to you. So the pawn took this rook. Now the time is to attack because this rook is now active It controls this file, queen controls this row, and here you go, you gotta check. So now at this position, white cannot move his rook here because अगर वो move करता है तो मैं obviously queen से ले लूंगा and the attack is continued. The like it's the king has would have nowhere to go. The king moves back there. अब मुझे यहाँ पर जीतने के लिए बस क्या चाहिए था कि बस ये वाला रुक किसी तरह यहाँ पर आ जाए, ठीक है? Because if you see, अगर ये रुक यहाँ पर आ जाता है, then I win. There's no space for the king to go, but unfortunately, this rook is here protected. So what I did was taking that rook, okay, given a check. Let's delay the checkmate. So अगर king यहाँ पर चला जाता, then it's game over for him, obviously. So he moves to the square. Then I gave him another check, and he cannot come back because अगर वो यहाँ पर आता है, अगर वो यहाँ पर आता है, then it's checkmate. मैं अपना rook ऊपर ले जाऊंगा and checkmate होता है. तो ये pawn ले लेता है. But how can I get his queen now? ठीक है? Obviously, it's giving him continuous checks. अगर तो वो लेट्स से यहाँ पर आता है तो मैं उसको चेक दे दूंगा यहाँ पर एंड आई विल गेट हिज क्वीन इजीली बिकॉज ही कैन नॉट मूव कैन ओनली मूव हियर एंड हियर आफ्टर दैट मूव ठीक है हियर एंड हियर आफ्टर दैट मूव सो ही मूव हियर बट वो यहाँ भी तो मूव कर सकता था उसकी क्वीन बच जाती है यार लिटरली उसकी क्वीन बच जाती बट ही मूव्ड हियर आई गिव हिम चेक he moved back I took his queen I won the game let's go. We literally didn't try competing after that queen was taken, and I don't recommend this for players of my elo like जो मेरी रेटिंग के लोग हैं यार अगर उनकी क्वींस मतलब चली जाती है जितना तो प्लीज डोंट रिजाइन द गेम्स जस्ट गो एंड fight for yourself. I know it kind of looks aimless sometimes but depending on the situation पे इस situation में I guess compete करना चाहिए था like resign नहीं करना चाहिए था because you still have a rook and some four pawns, five pawns actually. So like there's no harm in trying and wasting some more time playing chess. So and अक्सर इस तरह हुआ भी है कि आप जो है ना बहुत अच्छी पोजीशन में आ भी जाते हैं अक्सर because अक्सर जो players होते हैं वो ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस फील करने लग जाते हैं and they just blunder their pieces literally. Okay, so this was the game. Okay, I wanted to show. Obviously, this wasn't the best game I played, but there are more games to show you. So stay connected, and uh, I will come with more analysis and not of my games, but मैं कोशिश करूँगा जो international players हैं उनकी भी games review करना शुरू कर दूँ. So and आप ऐसे ही सीखते हो like I want कि we should learn and grow together. ठीक है कि I currently have a rating of around 870 880 so obviously we all want to get better and we are at that point कि जहाँ पर यार we would say that chess is not just a thing I chess is not just our habit it's a proper sport we are following so yeah I just want to contribute to this beautiful game so yeah now let's see what comes next and I will surely come back. See ya.